far as that issue is concerned.
It's like they design crap and then it's like, oh, well, they'll do no improvise their notes.
No,
No idea where this started from, but
you
it is
just make this
for
figure,
gun
we need to make it right.
plastic kit related thing.
But the whole thing is, it's like by shooting the nose out of his tail.
Yeah,
But
Then
it's
you make a figure that
they've
has
been doing
like
it since the original 079.
freaking things from the
Modern
hand
line
and
started
a
in
whole
the
bunch of the
modern
nose.
high-grade line started in the 90s. The master grade line started in 95, which is the longest running line now. Perfect grade in 98, real grade in 2020. So what are all these? They're the various scale lines. High-grade kits are almost always 144th scale. There are a few gun and wing kits that are 100, which can be confusing at times. The HUC kits are always 144th, excuse me. Master grade kits are 100. Perfect grade kits are 160. And real grade kits are 144th. 144th scale kits are about 5 inches tall. 100 kits are around 6 to 8 inches tall, and 160 kits are a foot on average. Alright, now on to the grades. The first grade kit was started for gun and below. They're insanely basic, like a step above a McDonald's toy price. They're also very cheap, so if you want something to paint. Advanced grade was a similar thing for gun age, but it did have that little chip in it to use for arcade. High grade is where things go a little bit crazy. The original high grade line was for everything, for all the lead Gundams up to CZ. After that, each new series got its own high grade line. So you have high grade C, high grade AA, high grade Age, and then they're doing it for build fires as well. The HUC is the high grade Universal Century Time line, and it's easily the most popular high grade line. Also has the most by a very wide margin. Just there, beside the Kobuki kit is a high grade Universal Century, and the Nemo over by Double is also high grade. After the War Future Century, AC are 4 of those respective timelines. They did do a couple of those. And then, like I mentioned earlier, C, Double, and Age all have their own high grade lines. And then the early HD kits are kind of bad. Most of them are just, they require far too much work to actually look good for most people. Some people do like them, and there are a few that are actually pretty decent. Some of the 100 kits are actually pretty nice. And the 100 G, the high-grade G-Savior space type was very advanced red stuff. And then Gunpla Builders, which was the 80 division a while back with Paragon, which a lot of people like. Most of them are just recolors. And then Build Fighters is the newest, which the thing for them seems to be backwards. Like that sort of thing. And then All Gundam is the new band that Project Gun says they're trying to standardize the lead Gundams. And from what I've been hearing, the high-grade wing is one of the best kits they've ever released. And then now you have 100. 100, like it says here, are generally beefed up high-grade kits. Pretty solid, but they're not very popular for some reason. But now here's where it gets a little confusing. Some people refer to them as no grades. This started with C because they literally didn't have the grade listed on them. Not an official term. If you ever ask someone from Japan that, they'll be confused. We actually had trouble with that with Bandai and with them because it's such a common term. Now you get to Master Grade. Master Grade is what a lot of people love. Longest running line, like I said earlier, as you can see, that's actually the one I brought, Master Grade 1. They look complicated, they're really not. What the appeal is the engineering. The MGH1 is one of the best engineering kits they ever made. You can do a lot of crazy stuff with it, and removing the armor does look pretty cool, however it is a pain to get back on, so I don't do it. Generally, like it says there, they're $30 to $100. The ones in the $100 range are relatively recent, but they are also massive and crazily detailed. Now, there's some subcategories here. The early Master Grade kits are kind of bad. They build fine, they don't look terrible, but they, like it says here, they have some weird proportions, they're not a complete inner frame. But I will tell you, they're cheap, so if you see one and you like it, there's no wrong with it. Modern ones, like you see, like I saw here, have a complete inner frame, and there's also a lot of repeats, because you have Unicorn and you have Banshee, it's the same thing. And there's dozens of arcs, 78 variants, Zaku's, all that kind of thing. Now it comes to something a little bit special. The version of Practical Kai kits usually come in a white box. They say Burkoff somewhere on there. And they usually have very specific proportions. None of the ones I bought are Burkoff. But the Master Grade Unicorn is one. They're also deep out, if that's not your thing. The 2.0 was a line they did a few years back where they reintroduced some of the first Master Grades they have and improved the engineering of them. They're all really good, so if you like those kits, you're off looking for that. And then, of course, the RX-78 is super popular, so it has a lot of variants. The 1.5 variant is more gritty looking, it has subdued colors, a lot of narrow lines. Looks really nice, which is also referred to as the 1-year war variant. There's another 1-year war variant that has the anime color, so it's brighter. The 2.0 RX-78 is really cartoony looking. It has anime proportions, anime colors, and just like I said, it looks good. It's not bad, it's good. 3.0 is the newest version, and it looks like the statue they had in the guy. And then you have the special editions. Usually the special editions have a color finish to them, and the problem with these finishes is they look really nice on the runners, but then you pull them off and you have terrible nub marks where you cut the pieces off. So sometimes they're not very popular because a lot of kits aren't meant to be coated, but they're still really popular in Japan, so of course they produce them. Some of them do come with extras, the Extreme Blast Destiny and the Strike Free, I don't know what they call it, had effect marks. So you can do the Wings of Light and things like that. Now you have the real grade. My example of the real grade is the RG Strike. They're kind of crazy. They have incredible detail and they're really tiny. But they also have weird proportions. The main problem with them is that they are so tiny. They're kind of hard to build. And you can burn yourself out on them pretty quickly. But they are really cool, and if you like the design, you'll love them. But don't buy them as a first kit. You'll get yourself. And then you have Perfect Grade. I don't have an example of these because they're expensive, but they're basically perfect as far as the model kits are concerned. They have the best detail, they have LEDs in them, they're massive, and they make great centerpieces. They're just generally amazing in my opinion. Then you have HY2N. It was a very short-lived series. They had some Xeon kits, and they're incredibly difficult to find. I think one edition and 2 for sale even on the internet. And now you also have 160 with low rate. They did these for Exia and Age, I believe. They're basically what's good to scale up printers. Not bad. They'd be great to start with if they weren't so expensive and rare. Same thing with mega size models. They're 140 and they are ridiculously big. It's almost fun. Once again, HD level construction, but they are expensive. They only have a few of them, inside there. Then you have the SD kits. Don't have an SD, didn't think about it. They're super deformed, they're cartoony looking, but they're also good for beginners, especially the newer ones. Few parts, nothing crazy to do. They actually look pretty good most of the time. Then you have the EX series. This is mostly ships, and they require crazy color. Mostly painting one color at a time. Good luck finding them. Now here's some stuff that isn't model. They're not like this. You have the Robot Spirit Sound, which is referred to as Robot Model. The Aries up there is an example of RE. Problem with them is, well, it's not a problem. They're not in scale with anything that isn't another RE from that series. They're also kind of expensive. And if you find one you want and you just cannot buy it because they get crazy expensive after they've gone out of production. And you have the MS in Action. These are the figures they had when they had done their stuff on the Toonami. Kind of rare anymore. Some people still like them, some not big fan. They're High Complete Pro. They're kind of like RDs, but they're not meant for playing. They're meant for posing, braving water. Same thing with the Super H Pro. They also will say they're not fun. Fixed configuration is similar. They're not really toys, not really model kits. They have some parts you can change out, and they have a lot of random releases, especially stuff you couldn't find as a kid. And then Metal Build is the newest one. They're die-cast, 1/100, expensive, But they look really, really good. I have them over at Exia and I'm not just disappointed. One of the downsides is the price, but I'm trying to $50 minimum. Now you have the equipment. I bought all of my basic equipment. You have the screw cutters, which are about 4-inch handle cutters over there. They're about $10. A great place to start when you start working on the kit. They cut them cleanly. They're just nice and easy to use. You need a hot knife. I have mine up there as well. Doesn't have to be exact though, just my preference. Basically use whatever you find. Sharp knife and good. Some people like to use sandpaper. I didn't grab mine. Sanding sticks are the preference. If you have a good set of metal files, those are great too. And basically the reason you want those two is you can sand them up down or you can cut them off. You've got 2 minutes. And then one of the other important parts is panel line. You want a fine point marker or a mechanical pencil. This gives you the lines that you see on my case there. It makes the details pop really nice. Like I said on here, I consider this the bare minimum. You can get by with wire cutters, a knife, and a mechanical pencil. If you really have to. I've done it before. It's not fun. Now here's the basic.
I was gonna say, it's kind of like cutting off the plastic pieces from like nail clippers work.
Oh yeah, I did use those too.
It's a cheap way, but nail clippers work because I'm cheap.
Alright, now the runner or the tree. Tree is what they call it in Japan. Those the ones at the end of there, the white bits, those are your left side. Yeah, right there. Thanks. That is actually not a Bandai runner. That is from a third party who produced a add-on bit for the Master Grade Target. But because it's in a nice hand box, that's the cover. The little bits of plastic you see attaching to the pieces are called the gauge or the sprue. Both of those terms are fairly acceptable. Once you cut the piece off, a little bit of the gate, you have what's called the nub. The nub is the thing you can like that. This is where you cut, this is what you cut off or sand down. Your preference is really your preference. But removing that is going to be where you can really get your skill. Then you have the panel lines. As you can see, I panel line most of my kits. Those are the little just lines that make the details pop. It's also another case of you gotta get experience with it. Once you get the experience down, it's great. And unpanelized kits look weird. Now you have decals. There should be a sheet of decals. Those are water slide decals. Add those with water. Cut it out, stick it in some water for a second, and slide it right into the plastic. It's kind of like temporary tattoo. You usually want to seal those in too. That's another thing. Then you have stickers. You did not bring some of those, but you have 2 types. Foil stickers, which are on shiny background, usually silver. And that's where you get your eye cameras and the cameras on the guns. And the A on the age is actually said as well. The what? A on the age. Oh, chest. Okay, yeah. And then you have the clear back stickers. Just as a good example of those, they're basically just clear stickers so that you can put a top coat on the interfere with the kit. And then you have the dry transfer. On the tool, there's a dry transfer on the shoulder that says Zaft. What you do with that is you cut it out, put a piece of tape on the front so that you're not getting the actual decal on the tape. Tape it down and you rub it off. Sort of like temporary tattoo. They're starting to not put them with them. They seem to be moving more towards water slides or clear back stickers. Pretty easy to do. Alright, and then the other thing is EMS, Express Mail Service. This is the most expensive shipping from Asian-based stores. Also, you get insurance with it. It's also fast. If you're starting to get something shipped in the US or Canada, gets to you in a few days. And then there's Surface Airlift. It's really, really slow, but it's cheap. And then, now where do you start? High grade, because it's cheap and it's simple. And I brought my example of the high grade Gunpla. It really can do stuff like that. Even with their equipment on, it's extremely potent. They hold up pictures. Or do that. And I've seen people pose it to where it was holding up other kits, which is always pretty cool. Some other recommendations, there's actually Gunpla starter sets. They come with the RX-78 G30 and a 5-point Gundam marker. So it's a great place to start. You can get a Gundam marker for free and you get a good kit. The Estrella from Gunpla and Plamo is good. It's basically an Exia, which is a problem because Exia is a terrible kit. But it's also good because you can learn how to fix very good problems. You have your high-grade GMs, Zodfies, all good. Intercom Stormwall, good. All those other ones, are all recommended because they're very easy to put together and they look nice, which is kind of the problem you run into. Not only does it look nice, well, you can do this, or you can just get this and it looks great out of the box. So after you build a few high grades, you'll probably want to go to max grade. Well, they're bigger and shiny. You're going to choose the force impulse and sword impulse are both great starting points. They throw in a lot of gimmicks that MGs are known for, and they're simple. If you don't like that, you can try the CRM kits, which that's what Google is. Google started the C3 max kits. It's crazy good. Very hard to do. Not poison. If you prefer UC, the 2.0 series is great. All the artists and needs, aside from the first one, are fairly solid. And at there, the MGH1 is a very, very, very good kit. It's engineered nicely, goes together great. It was just generally fun to build, which is shocking. So the menu is in Japanese. If you can't read Japanese, that is a problem. However, it's very simple. Everything is pictures and number based. As you can see here, it's pretty easy to match the phone. And then here is the things that everybody gets confused about. Basically, it just, I don't necessarily want to read this all off to you, but basically tells you what to do here. The ones you'll actually see often are self-explanatory. Generally, put your sticker here, do this twice, make sure that goes on both sides. Build it. Once your workspace something like that, it's organized, you're not going to hurt yourself, you can find it. The green map is a cutting map, which is pretty handy because you can cut masking tape. Moving the piece, take your nippers or whatever you got, cut the piece off the screw, and make sure you remove a little bit of nut. Once you remove the nut, especially if you do it with a knife, you'll have a little bit of flash. Get rid of this. Rub your nail a little bit. Stupid, but it works. But the other way to fix that is to sand it. Same thing generally is painting, which leads to everything else. Here's the trimming again. And if you want to see the blades I use, they're all beside the canvas. Looks like that. Pretty simple. Now the panel lines. Panel lines, basically you take the marker, the panel pencil, whatever you have, and run through the line. And you get something like this. Those are also the red bits there, also the decals. And here's the other stuff. This is explaining how you use the border slides and stickers. And basically where to go with it. So if you want, you have some options. You can do hand brushing, spread. There's acrylic enamel lacquer, spray cans, or airbrush. If you're looking for paint, acrylic. It's easy to use, it's not going to break anything, it's not going to melt anything. I prefer the ones listed here. Vallejo is my genuine preference, but it's kind of hard to find in South Carolina. The others are very easy to find. If you want to get synthetic brushes, just grab a bottle pack and some empty paints. You want your paint thin, then your paints, then your paints, then your paints. I've not stressed this enough. Unthin paint looks terrible. And you definitely want to soak your pieces as well after you cut them out. I've heard people say they don't need to do it, but in my experience, you soak them in slightly soapy water and it gets all the grease off. Makes the paint adhere better. When your paint isn't adhering, it kind of just dissipates. That's the best way I can describe it. It's also very frustrating. Now you can use spray cans. Who hasn't used a spray can before? It's pretty simple. Tamiya is the bread and butter for most people. It's also kind of expensive. You can use the Monomaster spray cans and they'll work fine. If you prefer prime is the best gun with spray cans or an airbrush. The Army Painter comes in a full-size can and it's about $12. And they have, as far as I know, black, white, and gray. So, good options. Airbrushes are not my thing. I don't have one, but you can get a good starting airbrush compressor for about $150. They also take up space, so you might want to consider that. Now mixing the slippery slope mode. It starts with, like I said, painting weapons, occasionally where stickers aren't there. The next thing you do, you're basically making it accurate command. This happened to me. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's fun. The other thing that will happen is you'll end up with a lot like this. I have like 60. And I mentioned steam loading, and it's actually really simple. Basically, you take your cement, wipe it on the edges of the piece, push them together, hold them together, and then use like rubber bands or paper clips to keep them held together, and it welds the pieces together. So you sand the excess off and get a smooth piece. The base lord, the one beside Rule and Mobile, his weapons are actually similar if you want to take a look at it. Also mentioned Plamo. Plamo is basically anything that isn't Gunpla. The other company is TJWooten. They also do statues and some other stuff. The base lord is a frame lock kit, and EF2000 here is a lower lock kit. The thing about them is they're not like Gunpla. They go together as easily, but they take some more work. Doesn't necessarily need a lot of work, but a little bit of work goes a long way with you. It's astounding. They also produce some real uplift kits, the original generation size. You saw the inspectors there recently. They have something there. They're pretty cool. Shows hard dog ones that have some. Not the same deal. They are kind of rare, not really that expensive, but I think they're nice. And they also produce Zords. The TJWooten's HM Zords line is crazy. I should have gotten this picture to show you. But someone has the 172 Lighter Zero, right, with a 1/100 unicorn riding it. And the unicorn's tiny. The unicorn is gigantic. As I mentioned down there, that's the usual goal. So where do you buy this stuff? First place to check is a local hobby store. Not everywhere has these. However, there are some chains. Hobbytown USA is the only one right off the top of my head, which is listed there. And somewhat surprisingly, Barnes & Noble is now carrying a very limited selection. All the stores have the same stuff, so if you see one Park City, they probably have some other stuff. Now, stores like Hobby Lobby and Michael don't carry Gunpla or Plamo, but they do have tanks and stuff, if you like that. But they do have supplies, which is great. That's where I pick up a lot of paint. So when you buy online, this might sound surprising, Amazon is a very good choice. Their selection isn't always amazing, but most of the kits Amazon has themselves are Amazon Prime, which is free to issue, which is amazing. That's where you eat up a lot of your funding with buying is your shipping. Ami is based in Japan, and they do have low prices, like it's mentioned here. They make up for that with shipping. They do have a good selection, but after the initial issue of the kit, they'll go on backward. Once it's on backward, you order the kit and you'll get it in about 2 weeks. But it's still pretty cheap. And like I said, I've had plenty of experiences with them, they're great. Hobby Lobby Japan is also in Japan, where their stock is more up to date, shipping's fine, and their website is really, really good. It tells you when they're going to get stuff back in stock. It'll tell you shipping to like 90 countries. It's pretty crazy. GG Infinite is run by Gunpla guy, who is a fairly well-known blogger. Good prices, normal shipping, and he gets in a lot of the exclusive stuff that Bluefin gets. Stuff like Extreme Burst Mode, Destiny, exclusive parts. Excuse me. Hobby Lobby is in Canada. A lot of people like them because they have a flat $12 shipping fee. So if you buy a bunch of kits at once, it's a great option. It's up to like 30 pounds of kits or something. So that's a very crazy amount. Model Grade is another retailer. I just recently found out about them, and they're really cool. They have great ship, great selection, and their shipping seems cheaper. They're based in, I want to say Sacramento, and they'll work with you a lot. I'm actually doing a group buy for them right now. And last is Mandrake. Mandrake is sort of like eBay, but it's for a collection of websites in computer hobby. What's so great about them? Well, as it says here, they mark them as damaged. These boxes are not damaged. All the runners are in the plastic still, they're completely unused. And the discounts on them are crazy. Like it says there, user car retails for about 80. I've seen it for 45. Only real problems are, it helps to search in Japanese, which Google occasionally is not very helpful. And if you don't spend 5,000 yen, you get charged a 500 yen service fee. Shipping, to calculate shipping, the easiest thing to do is go to Hobby Lobby Japan, add it to your cart, check shipping, and it's not the same. And here's the important thing. If you're buying more than one kit, check everything. Because you might not always find what you want in stock in one place. It's happened to me before. It's frustrating, I'll be honest. But when you're buying one kit, let's let you go with whatever's cheapest. It may only be $1 or $2, but it's all. And well, that's the end of that. Quick. Question, brother?
Yeah, I have a question. A lot of candy toy kits have stickers on them, and they're sort of done, like the Power Rangers ones and some of the Gundam kits. They come out as little candy toy sets for kids to buy in Japan. They come with a little pick a piece of candy. Like, they come with stickers, and you're supposed to put the stickers on, but often it seems like they're taunting you to just paint it up because the stickers are so fiddly. Do you have any advice on applying stickers?
That's kind of hard. Honestly, my best advice is when you're applying the stickers, I've not worked with those. I peeled them up with my knife, one of the shorter blades, and just extremely carefully place them down.
You use your knife to place it down?
Let me show you.
Okay.
Very stubby blade, designed exactly for what I do.
Oh yeah.
It's basically, I mean, it's sharp, yes, but it's short enough that you're not going to stab yourself, for one thing.
And you can get it...
But you can get it under there very easily. Because the problem I had with using the longer ones is because they're kind of thin. I got concerned about cutting myself. It's a little bit clumsy at times. And I was afraid I was going to hurt something.
Right.
But it's more of a practice thing.
Yeah. Just practice.
Let's see, just